Honestly, he was moved to center, and he really didn't have any detailed coaching or development in season or making that transition. What? 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 What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Attack on Cowboys, and today we're going to talk about how the Dallas Cowboys offensive line could end up being a lot better than what you think, and exactly what these guys are doing to take the next steps this upcoming season. Let's get right into it, and be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content just like this on the rig. Man, shut your up. All right, let's get into this article written by Garrett Podell, and it says how Cowboys offensive linemen are maximizing their potential with NFL's top offensive line guru in their own backyard. This is a Duke Manyweather expose. This is going to be essentially blowing a bunch of smoke up Duke Manyweather's tailpipe, and rightfully so. He's put together a damn good outfit out there with offensive line masterminds, helping tons of NFL and Pro Bowl and all pro offensive linemen across the league. So you can't head on whatever Duke got going on, y'all. I'm just keep it real with y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into this. This is written by Garrett Podell, and it reads as follows. Quarterbacks taking their wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends on bonding trips to build on and off-field chemistry is one of the most common events in the NFL offseason calendar. These trips occur during the lull between mandatory minicamp ending in mid-June and training camp beginning in late July. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has taken some of his offensive skill position teammates to places like San Diego, Lake Oconee in Georgia, and Lake Oswego in Oregon. However, an offensive line's chemistry and camaraderie is just as important. Luckily for Dallas's offensive line, it can simply take a staycation in Frisco, because the NFL's preeminent offensive line training guru resides in their backyard, Duke Manyweather and his offensive line masterminds program. He's all about the offensive line, Cowboys left tackle Tyler Guyton told CBS Sports about Manyweather. He's O-line specific, so he's created a foundation in the world where the offensive line is very relevant. We have specific training things there that can help us become better players. Also, just the atmosphere. Being around other guys that are in your position to play the same position for different teams is just a good place to be for offensive linemen because of the camaraderie, the technique, the special devices that he uses to make his players better, things like that. Manyweather is a former Division II college football player who suited up at Humboldt State in California, but he had the awareness early on to realize his professional football future would be in coaching and training and not as an NFL player. Quote, I was an undersized offensive lineman, and so from that, I really had to be clear on the things I can control, Manyweather told CBS Sports. That was the mind, body, and the craft. That was having the processing and knowing not only what I'm doing, but what everybody else is doing on the field. That really perfected my technique, how hard I worked in the weight room. Those three tenets are what I built offensive line masterminds around: mind, body, and craft, because I think those are the three things that take no real talent to master and to execute when guys are preparing. One of his first major clients happened to be Philadelphia Eagles six-time Pro Bowl right tackle Lane Johnson, and Manyweather was watching NFL Network's NFL Top 100 Reveal show back in 2018 to see where Johnson would land. On the episode he was watching, Manyweather saw Johnson say, "These defensive players are getting so good these days. We need to all get in a room and figure out how to stop these guys." Manyweather immediately called Johnson to help organize their first offensive line summit over the course of 2 days to counter what Von Miller and the NFL's top pass rushers do at their sack summit. Johnson and Manyweather ended up bringing in 27 offensive linemen to Frisco in the summer of 2018, a gathering that included Kansas City Chiefs All-Pro right tackle Mitchell Schwartz, New Orleans Saints Pro Bowl left tackle Teron Armstead, Tampa Bay Buccaneers Pro Bowl center Ryan Jensen, and former first-round offensive tackle DJ Fluker. In addition to having the summit every offseason, Manyweather trains NFL offensive line clients all throughout the year, but the action really ramps up in the offseason when players are away from the facility. Top NFL offensive linemen seeing their peers in Manyweather's facility is one of the things that excites them the most about his program. I think the training is good, but I really think that the guys who are there are just an invaluable resource. It's undeniable. Cowboys left guard Tyler Smith told CBS Sports. Rashawn Slater, Teron Armstead, a lot of offensive guards like Zion Johnson, Trey Smith, Cesar Ruiz, Eric McCoy, all NFL starters, and they play at a high level. Training amongst them, it's good for me because I like to compete when I train. I like to go against and be around guys who play at an elite level, even just picking their brains, kind of figuring out some of the things they like to do, because on the offensive line, you don't have to hide secrets. It's just us. I think that's a huge benefit for me. Slater, a two-time Pro Bowl left tackle for the Chargers, and Chiefs Pro Bowl right guard Trey Smith, both of whom are entering the final season of the rookie contracts in 2025, opted to spend the spring with Mayweather and only report to their respective teams for mandatory minicamps. Mayweather's credibility with the Cowboys organization runs deep and has been building for years as he trained Jeremy Purnell, Ronald Leary in the 2010s, but once seven-time first-team All-Pro right guard Zach Martin became a client, that's when Mayweather became the trainer of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. When Martin talks, the younger players listen. Mayweather said, and ever since Mayweather has been in lockstep with the front office and various offensive line coaches to maximize the unit's potential. Since I've been in Dallas, late 2014, early 2015, they've had 7 or 8 offensive line coaches. To a level, I've been, and not to toot my own horn, but like for many of these guys, I've been the beacon of stability for a lot of these guys for their career, including Zach. Interesting. The new Cowboys offensive line coach, Connor Riley, and assistant offensive line coach, Raymond Chin-Young Sr., met with Mayweather in mid-June to come to an understanding of what Mayweather would work on with Dallas's players when the coaches weren't allowed to meet with them. Ooh, that is a gem. So the Cowboys kind of figuring out how to cut some corners here, because remember, due to the player CBA and all that stuff, man, they can't actually come in contact or instruct players to do things all throughout the season, right? So going to a trainer that you know all of your guys are going to be working with for the most part, and actually getting on the same page with him, kind of talking to him about some of the things that you actually want him to be working on with your guys, that is something that I am not sure was going on with the previous coaching staff. Matter of fact, there was no reports of anything like that going on with the previous coaching staff as it pertains to them going and communicating with Duke Mayweather about what they needed him to actually work on as a unit for that group, specifically for the Cowboys, right? And remember, that was one of our biggest criticisms is with these independent trainers, especially with a group like the offensive line, it's hard just to go out there and teach a guy technique stuff when you don't understand exactly the details or the fine details of what offensive line coaches and stuff are actually trying to get these guys to do. So I love the fact that Connor Riley did take the time to get on the same page with Duke Mayweather, because he realizes, yeah, these guys are going to use him as a resource, and hopefully that yields better results from the training just overall, because now the team and the players and playbook are all on the same page. So I really, really appreciate that. After about an hour of talking and walking through stuff, we're on the same page, Mayweather said. We're seeing everything through one set of eyes. That's just me being like, hey, I don't want your job, but allow me to continue to progress these guys as much as possible when you guys can't in some of the downtime where coaches can't work with players. So my job isn't really to change anything that these guys are doing, but it's to make these guys more effective and efficient in what they're asked to do. Exactly. Love to see that. You actually see the picture here with Connor Riley and Raymond Chin-Young and all these guys with Duke Mayweather. So I absolutely love this right here. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Here's a look at what each of the Cowboys' 5 projected starters are being asked to work on with Mayweather in their 2-hour sessions, Monday through Friday, ahead of reporting to training camp in Oxnard, California on July 21st. This is good stuff right here. So Tyler Guyton's area of focus, posture, strength, and balance in his stance. Absolutely agree with that. Tyler Guyton has been grinding all offseason to overcome what Tyler Smith labeled as a tumultuous rookie year for the 2024 first-round pick, altering his diet and being much more intentional about his training. He made the transition from right tackle at Oklahoma, where he protected left-handed quarterback Dylan Gabriel's blind side in 2023, to protecting the right-handed Prescott's blind side in 2024. Guyton played in 15 of the team's 17 games and started 11 of them. Pro Football Focus graded, I don't care what Pro Football Focus graded Guyton. Let's keep moving past that. Mayweather has worked with Guyton to reconfigure his posture and stance in order to provide the 6'7", 322-pound behemoth with much more balance going forward. Increased balance could help Guyton cut down on the penalties, because then he wouldn't feel the need to get off the line of scrimmage in the rush manner that he did as a rookie. Posture all throughout the rep, stance, start, and finish. posture all throughout the rep. The way that you stand, the way that your weight is transitioned on your feet, where your lean is, things like that, Guyton said. Knee bend, ankle flexion, a bowed back, not being too relaxed, and being somewhere in the middle where you're comfortable, you can move and be quick and efficient. Working to build a new feeling for Guyton on the left side has been a focal point for Manyweather in his work with the 24-year-old. Quote, the big thing that I always told him, and then also anybody changing to the opposite side, don't try to make this side feel like the side that you got all these reps on, Manyweather said. It's going to feel different because it's a different movement pattern. Like TG said, it's really been the stance, the weight distribution, and the posture. Being able to maintain the posture under load on that side. That's really what we've been focusing on. Then getting him to really understand that we got to reset the feet in order for the hands to be efficient and effective. All right. Love to hear that, man. So it sounds like Tyler Guyton has some very, very specified training that he's going through to kind of fix some of the issues. And I love to hear the thing that I love to hear is when guys actually can identify the issue. It's not just he has to work harder. And no, it's actual mechanical issues that they can fix, bro. So that's very, very encouraging. I'm not going to lie. Tyler Smith, area of focus, getting off the ball quickly and establishing his first 3 steps to maximize leverage and power. Tyler Smith is a new leader of the Cowboys offensive line following the retirements of both Martin and 8-time Pro Bowl left tackle Tyron Smith this offseason. He's registered consecutive Pro Bowl appearances across his second and third NFL seasons after settling in at Dallas's left guard spot. So he said, quote, our biggest thing is to be able to run off the ball, get the first 3 steps in the ground, and allow him to use that leverage and power that he has because it's pretty special. In pass pro, getting big jumps and being an aggressive setter. Being able to end the fight early because there's not too many people that are going to be able to get off of him, Manyweather said. It's really been honing in on these things, getting him to be more efficient with his change of direction and redirect, and I think that every single year the concept has gotten more and more through to him. Cooper Beebe, area of focus, more reps and better utilization of his offhand, the one that's not snapping the ball, obviously. Cooper Beebe, a 2025 third-round pick, predominantly played at guard in college at Kansas State, and he left college as the Big 12's Offensive Lineman of the Year. As a rookie, the Cowboys moved him to center to replace Pro Bowler Tyler Biadasz, who departed to the Washington Commanders as a free agent last offseason. Beebe had an uneven rookie campaign but progressed as the year went on, finishing with a don't care about the PFF grade. The good news for Beebe is that Riley, Dallas's new offensive line coach, was his position coach at Kansas State. Working with Riley and Manyweather and having another year at the position, he could make a leap. Honestly, he was moved to center and he really didn't have any detailed coaching or development in season or making that transition. What? 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 What he had was basically what we had worked on in the offseason, and then I tried to give him as much of what I see during the season as possible. I think it's just Cooper being confident and making the transition to center about the small stuff. Being able to use the offhand, being able to tailor make what your steps and targets need to be in the run game, and pass protection for what a center needs to be versus all the time he spent at guard at Kansas State. Whoa, 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 our offensive line coach was way worse than I possibly ever could have imagined. How the hell do you move a guy to a brand new position in the NFL and you don't actually provide him with the proper coaching and teaching and training throughout the entire season for him to actually be successful? So Cooper Beebe was out there. Bro, he was out there just balls to the wall, just winging it. He was out there just winging it. Oh, our offensive line is going to be so much better. Our offensive line is going to be so much better, bro. Oh, my gosh. He didn't have any detailed coaching or development in season on making that transition. Oh, my gosh. Oh, we need to apologize to our offensive line, bro. Any of these guys, because what? Oh, my gosh, bro. Our coaching staff was so much worse than I thought it was. Mike McCarthy, you're a terrorist. You're a terrorist, Mike. Bro, Mike Solari. Oh, my gosh, bro. Oh, them dudes, man. Oh, my gosh. I never want to see him in Dallas again, bro. Tyler Booker, area focus, cross-training to prepare for his switch from left guard to right guard. All right, so that's kind of getting Tyler Booker ready to switch to different sides. Mayweather and 2025 first-round pick Tyler Booker began working together when the latter was still at Alabama. Their focus is clear. Get Booker ready to make the transition from college left guard to NFL right guard as Martin's successor. It's been really fun to see his progress, Mayweather said. I thought he made a really, really big jump the last 2 years. The thing about us, whether it's Zach Martin, whether it's Terrence Steele, whether it's Guyton, we always train to be a left side player and a right side player. So pre-draft, Tyler got a lot of work as a right side player and a left side player, and we will continue to do that. There's also a sports science component to why Mayweather regularly cross-trains his linemen, even for players who aren't making position switches. When you train the other side you don't play on, not only does it stimulate the brain and the motor development, but it makes your non-dominant side better as well. It eliminates any susceptibility to asymmetries, which can cause injury. I like that. Mayweather said, so what ends up happening is a guy plays on the left side his entire career. He'll start to have repetitive, recurring injuries from having extreme internal rotation on the left side, and that's shortening him on the right side. So we're trying to train right and left as much as possible. I think that's a really important aspect of a player's health, and that makes perfect sense as it pertains to the way that the body is actually built, right? The body is cross-threaded itself, so you want to make sure you're getting equal distribution on the training that you're providing for your body. It makes perfect sense, bro. Terrence Steele. Area of focus, a more detailed approach to his handwork, as well as increased mobility. Right tackle Terrence Steele's NFL journey has been a roller coaster. He went undrafted out of Texas Tech in 2020 and earned a starting job right away as a rookie. However, he tore his ACL and MCL late in the 2022 season, but the Cowboys gave him a 5-year, $82.5 million contract extension. Anyway, that was probably a mistake. His return from the knee injury the last 2 seasons has been rocky, especially in pass pro. Steele's 94 quarterback pressures allowed since 2023 are the most in the NFL. Poor Dak. Oh my goodness, bro. Poor Dak. But he is a good run blocker. Steele is now working on getting back to a more detailed approach with his hands after former Cowboys offensive line coach Mike Solari emphasized physical traits over technique when working with Dallas's right tackle. Specifically, Steele is focusing on improving his reactivity and change of direction, and also using his hands strategically like he did in 2022. Mike Solari wanted him to do different things with his hands that I didn't necessarily agree with, that I didn't think worked for Terrence. I think late last year you saw him get back to some of the timing with his hands that worked for him. I think that's kind of what it's going to be with Connor Riley this year. We're on the same page with that. So really, I saw a big difference in Terrence's movement in the spring, and I see a big difference already this summer. Now he's moving in turn to change of direction and really confident back on the knee. Oh my gosh. Mike Solari did his best possible job to blow this team up and get Dak Prescott turned into silly putty in the middle of an NFL football field. Holy cow. Bro, Mike Solari he's a terrorist. Oh, our offensive line is going to be so much better. Our offensive line is going to be so much better. Godspeed to you, Duke Mayweather. Godspeed to you, Connor Riley. Godspeed to you, Raymond Chin Young. Oh my goodness, bro. Yeah, I might have been underselling this article with the title and thumbnail, man. Oh my goodness. Either way, let me know what y'all think about all this stuff down in the comments below. I'm excited to see what the hell the offensive line is going to look like with a real coach back there, because clearly we just had the crypt keeper just watching over the guys or something. But I don't know what was going on. Either way, man.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.